the line, so the final scoreline will be 106 to 96.
So we'll see Ms. Kwan once again as we continue.
Here's the style of Kwan Unsil, and that's 10. That is the only 10 in that match. So just 110 in that match. That's surprising. Very surprising. There's the final scoreline. So that's 106 to 96.
2-point difference in favor of Victoria Cavallo over on court B right now. Winner of that match will be over here to meet the winner of the match just now, Miss.
They're using two fields of play here in the eliminations. They've got two fields of play, an A and a B, and they're both going on at the same time. So there might be a little bit of a delay because I can see on court B that it's a little bit behind. But for court A, we can go straight through to the next matchup. And a bit of Australian support we see in the top of the screen. And they've come here to support the Australian Jane Waller. There's the Australian support for Jane Waller, ranking round of 28.
At target 1, representing India, Pranitha Borginetti. At target 2, representing Australia,
Jane Waller from Australia. Parentha Vadanini from India. We saw her in the teams event. She looked very, very good in the teams event, I thought. So I think the Indian archer is a strong candidate in terms of progressing. But in terms of ranking, Jane Waller she's just aged 18. This is interesting. Jane Waller is aged 18, and Parentha Vadanini, she is just 17. So who said that archery is for the older group? It's not. A 17 and an 18-year-old here. So this is a battle of the youngsters, isn't it? Jane Waller at 18 and Parentha Vadanini, as she is age 17. Some Australian support here at the archery. Sure, a lot of pressure on both the archers at such a young age at the Olympic Games. Just good conditions. It's just 30 degrees, very light wind. Probably the lightest it's been over the last couple of hours. In fact, it's just fallen away for very little breeze at all. Just about to wait and see when we see the target flag. That's a good picture, looking straight down towards the release of the arrow. An 8 then for Jane Waller to start off with. Parentha Vadanini now. She's got the kisser there, which is just in her lips, you see. She knows when she draws back her bow, the string, she's got it exactly in the same spot every time. So 9, a lead of 1, left-handed. There's the release and a 7, nervous start. Vadanini we saw in the teams event, they went a long way in during the teams event, and I think that probably put her in good stead. Love hearts on the protection there. Clicker goes, release, and 10! Well, I did suggest at the start of this match that Vadanini looked good in the teams event, and she's proving it right here. 9 and a 10, and that will just be a 9, could be a 10. I think it may just about be the 10, cutting the line. We'll give it 10 at the moment. It is 10, I think. See, the kisser just goes there, so she knows she's got the string back to the same distance, releases, and another 10. That's great shooting, 29 out of 30. What a great start by the 17-year-old Indian. 29 plays 25. That's a dramatic start. Bit of encouragement for Jane Waller. That's a solid start. Very solid. Oh, we've got the Aussies here supporting. So Jane Waller is confirmed with a 10. So she scored well too. And here is the second 10 for Vadanini. That's a good effort, 29-25, 29 out of 30. That's a good effort first up. And a good one too from Jane Waller. She came back well. An 8, dropped the 7 and then the 10. And at 25, it's not a bad start. Just looking for consistency, I'm sure. So because she's behind, it's the left-hander, and Jane Waller will shoot first. There you can see the sight. And there you see the result, 8, I think. I think it'll be 8. 8, we've taken it as an 8, but it could be upgraded to a 9. But on our score, we put it as an 8. Holding it quite a long time. Now the release. And 10. That's why she held it for so long. She knew exactly what she was doing. That chest protector's a good one, isn't it? Little love hearts over it. And that is an 8. So 2 8s. It's falling a little bit behind though. Yeah, see the love hearts there on that chest protector. Is that a pig? That's a 9. All sports people have their favourite equipment, don't they? That's perhaps Pranantha's Vadanini's favourite one. That's a 9. So very good grouping from Jane Waller. But this is an impressive performance so far from Pranantha Vadanini. Holds it quite a long time, but it's been having good results. 8-7, counting down. She goes right to the time limit. Oh, she held it a long time in a 7. Now that's made it a lot different. 55 to 50. 55 to 50, so the difference is 5. So that's a big lead halfway through the contest. So 55 to 50.
Archer's shoulders are obviously quite important, and the health of one's joints.
Look at this. Look at her left arm just quivering slightly, and the 7. She just wasn't certain, was she? And I guess then she thought, well, time's going by, and it was down to perhaps 6 seconds to go, and the release just wasn't what she was wanting. 55 to 51, she was upgraded, that arrow that touched the line for the 8. For the difference, 6 arrows each to go. I think Jane Waller's still in the match, there's no doubting that, especially if Pranantha Vadanini has a little bit of lack of confidence after that last 7 arrow. She has 3 10s so far, and Jane Waller at just the 1 10. So the Australian, because she's behind, is first to the shooting line through the sight. And 9, that's a good 9. Good start. Would there be a little bit of doubt in Pranantha Vadanini's mind after that last 7 arrow? And 9, that's much better. Matches the Australian arrow. That's a 7. Now that's made it very difficult. Just dropped it away, didn't she, to the bottom of the target. Draws that kisser back into her mouth. The release, that's 10. Solid. Just the one poor arrow, the 7. Apart from that, it's been very, very solid. That's her 4th 10. Just a 110 for Jane Waller so far, and that's an 8. Slipping away from her, Jane Waller. She had a great ranking round of 28, whereas Varanini's was 37. Just 17 years of age, and that is an 8. That's the scoreline of 82 to 75 now, 82-75. I'm sure that Parentha Varanini will be excited to think that in 2 more years that the Commonwealth Games has archery in the list of sports, and she'll be home, and another 2 years from age 17 she could be a major contender at Commonwealth Games level. I don't think we've seen the last of her at the Olympic Games by any stretch of the imagination, but when you consider this, that there's still another 2 years to go before the Commonwealth Games, and in India, she could have the hopes of a nation right behind her. Very solid performer. 82 plays 75. 25 and 26 improvement for Jane Waller. Then there's 24. And then 29, 26 and 27 for Varanini. 3 arrows from each of these contestants, and then we'll finish this elimination match. That's 7. So with 1 arrow to go, the Lockheed 82, you can see that's a huge advantage, which Waller won't make up, I'm sure. That's 7. That's 10. That's an excellent effort. Her second 10. Nice finish for Jane Waller. Now the reply from Parentha Varanini. And 10, good reply. Oh, a lot of quality here. Concentration, focus, and an 8. So if she finishes on 100 exactly, probably a little bit disappointed, but this has been a superb performance from Varanini. She'll be looking to finish on a high because she's got another match coming up. Holding it, see the front stabilizer, and that's a 7. So 106 to 100, and Parentha Varanini will go through to the next round, and for Jane Waller, she is eliminated from the competition. A very good performance by Parentha Varanini. Quality at age just 17. Continuing action at the archery. We'll get down to the last 16 at the end of the session. And here's the style of Varanini with a 10. There's the final scoreline then. Parentha Varanini 106 and Jane Waller 100. As we wait for our next group, and again, oh, it's good. We see Parentha Varanini and we see Kwon Eun Sil. So we see them back again on the same field. Interesting, Varanini scored 106 And Kwon Eun Sil also scored 106 in their victories we saw just a short time ago.
At target 1, representing Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Kwon Eun-sil.
So Kwon Eun Sil at rank 5, she's age 24. This is the coach. And Parentha Vadanini is age 17 and has the ranking coming into this competition at the start of the games at 37. So they had a ranking round which they all were involved with, and at that ranking round that's where they got the ranking from. That's where she's at 37. That played a part in the teams event, in the accumulation of the 3 members of the team, and it also meant that on the draw they were placed from top to bottom on the draw based on their ranking. So at rank number 5 against rank number 37, this will be interesting, especially as they both had the scores of 106 in their first up result. So going to the starting line, it's good to see Parentha Vadanini again, just to see how she copes now with the pressure of a very, very well-known archer in Kwon Eun Sil. So the first of 12 arrows, 4 ends of 3. A quick release we see from Kwon Eun Sil, and a 9. Remember, it took quite some time before Kwon Eun Sil scored a 10 in the match we saw of her, whereas Parentha Vadanini, she was hitting that middle 10 quite often. A little bit quicker that time. That's cutting the line. That's 9. So all square. I think it's got a good contest, this, especially based on their first result we saw. The Olympic record 114. That's 8. Gives a little bit of a chance here to Parentha Vadanini to put a bit of pressure on. Beat the 8. Clicker goes, arrow flies, and a 9. She leads by 1. That's where the Korean spectators are just so generous in terms of their applause. Sure, they do give huge support to their own favourite, 9, but they also give great support to the opponent as well. So 2 9s so far for Vadanini. And 9, so it's still a 1-point lead. 1-point lead to Parentha Vadanini after one end, 27 to 26. That's a good start by the 17-year-old. And there it is there, 27-26. That's what I was mentioning before regarding, here's the replay of the 8 arrow. 27-26 official score. A lot of young people come along as well to watch the archery with their flags. There's the scarves you can see there, which often come out in front of them in Manchester United or Chelsea style, or Phoenix style, in Wellington, New Zealand, of course. So Kwon Eun Sil, good illustration of the drawback, the release, and 9. It's good to see that picture from behind, just how they draw back and the release. Fascinated by the love hearts on the arm guard, on the chest protector rather. Arm guard, same colour, sort of a pinky colour you see on the wrist. And that's poor, that's 6. Now, that may be a decisive arrow. One just wouldn't think that Kwon Eun Sil will have a very, very poor arrow. That's a 9. 3 9s and then a 6. Still a young age though. Plenty of time. The release, the comeback from that 6 will be interesting. 7. Yeah, just a bit of calm advice from the coach for the difference. 9 and a 9 in the second end from Kwon Eun-sil, and now an 8. A little bit of a chance here then, you see. A 10 and she claws a couple of points back. Big arrow this one on the second end, halfway through for Parentha Varanini of India, looking to close the gap with a 10. 9 closes by 1. So in that end, it was now 2 26s by Kwon Eun-sil and a 27 and a 22 from Parentha Varanini. That was the 6 arrow. Looked across at the coach with disappointment. I think I may have looked perhaps the other way, but I have to say the Indian coach looks very supportive. Nice words of encouragement after the 6, which is a great sign. And at 17, what a great future she does have. But I think Kwon Eun-sil at ranking round of 5, she is